Hey, I'm Liv, welcome to my channel Endless Pages, and today's video is going to be some TV show recommendations. So just like my hobby of reading, I have a massive obsession with TV shows. Just like my reading, I love researching new TV shows, trying new genres, finding what's popular. Just like my reading, I do the same with TV watching, and I have about every streaming service under the sun. I love watching TV, I love finding new shows to watch, and I reckon I watch as much TV as I do read books. So that's a lot of TV that I watch. So I thought I would start a series where I give you my recommendations of TV shows that I love. So I was thinking how to do this, if I should just talk about shows that I've watched recently or older shows. And I think because this is my first time doing this, in the earlier ones, I think I'll just put in some of my old favorites in there as well and work my way up eventually to just talking about shows that I've been watching recently. So this is a mixture of some old favorites and some new favorites. So in terms of my watching habits, I am much more likely to try out new genres and more diverse in my genre watching in TV than I am in reading. In reading, I tend to stick to the same genres. In TV, I love to watch anything and everything, so I've tried to pick a few shows from different kinds of formats and genres. To start us off, I thought I would begin with some of my favorite sitcoms. So my first sitcom recommendation is The Good Place. So this is by the same creators of The Office. This show is about a woman called Eleanor Shellstrop, and Eleanor Shellstrop is dead. She wakes up in this afterlife called The Good Place and told that she has made it in, and the good place is kind of like a metaphor for heaven, let's just say that, and it's a place where all of the good people, the best, most ethically amazing people that have lived out these greatest lives on earth, that's where you get to go, the good place, when you die. And then obviously there is also the bad place. So Eleanor realizes that she has been mistaken for another person, and she knows inside herself that she really doesn't belong in the good place and hasn't earned a place there. This show is amazing because it teaches you about the topic of philosophy and ethics. And when I was in uni, I went to a Catholic university, so we had to do mandatory philosophy and theology units, which I couldn't stand. I thought it was very dry and really hard to understand. But what's amazing about The Good Place is that it makes learning about philosophy and ethics so fun. It does it in such a great way that like you're watching a silly, fun, goofy sitcom, but also learning. And there's lots of discussions. The kind of show is around what makes a good person and how do you be a good person on earth. And we kind of focus around Eleanor and her kind of main group, and these group of people all, without knowing it, help each other become better people. And it's about how we can want to, even like no matter what kind of person we were before, we can improve and want to improve and become better people and be better people for the people that you surround yourself with. The Good Place, of course, has its silly little sitcom moments, but it's overall a super fun show, and a show where you're learning so much about morality and philosophy and different philosophers and different philosophers' ways of thinking and ideas around morality and good and bad, what's right and wrong. It's super heartwarming and a beautiful show about the power of friendship and how we can, by improving ourselves, we can also help improve our friends and the people that we surround ourselves with. I'm going to say as well whether these shows are finished or not, because I know there's some people that would rather just wait for a show to be done and you can binge it. The Good Place is officially finished. There is 4 seasons. They're super easy and quick to fly through because there's a fun overarching plot throughout the show, so it makes it super like bingeable. The episodes are only about 20 minutes, so they're easy to get through as well. So that's The Good Place. The next sitcom is Superstore. Oh my god, I only watched this show recently. It's fantastic. So Superstore is about this American retail shop called Cloud9, and you follow the day-to-day lives of the workers there as they deal with the behind-the-scenes staff drama and drama with customers. So you'd really appreciate the show if you've worked in retail or hospitality. You get that greater appreciation, I think, for the situations and the funny customer bits as well. There's also a bit of an overarching romance story, which makes it great, but mainly the episodes are like those self-contained episodes in 20 minutes, so each episode is a new big drama that they've got to deal with, but there are some little other overarching plots, like I said, with the romance and with some of the other character storylines and what's going on in their personal lives. This again is a super funny show, like laugh out loud funny. I laughed so many times at this show. It is so clever with such a fun and diverse cast, and just really wholesome as well. The romance is super cute, and you can't help but go for the main little love interest in the show, which I won't say because spoilers, but this is a fun show. There's 6 seasons and they're 20-minute episodes, so again, like The Good Place, if you want a binge of a finished show that's quick and easy to pump through with some really wholesome cute moments and some hilarious scenes. I think this next section I'm going to call the crime section, so I have 3 little recommendations that will fit into this section. Crime corner. I've got my notes here ready for this one. I love true crime. I find it really interesting from like a psychology perspective, and the process of trying to solve a crime I find really interesting. So this recommendation is Making a Murderer. You might have heard of this one. It's a Netflix documentary and it went really viral when it first came out and was super popular. This is about a guy called Stephen Avery, and Stephen spent 18 years, not 16, 18 years in prison in Wisconsin for the sexual assault of a young girl. He was then exonerated for that crime. He then started to sue the state for being wrongly accused, but then a little bit after that, he is then accused of the murder of a 25-year-old photographer called Teresa Halbach. So this documentary is about this whole crime. So they break down the crime from the start. You have interviews with Stephen himself from prison. You have interviews mainly spend a lot of time with Stephen's parents and his family. So this is a documentary I love. There's got 2 seasons, so I just will let you know that this show is a commitment. Like, you got to be ready to watch this show all in once because there is so much information and so many twists and turns, and there's 2 whole seasons as well, so it is a very long commitment. I just really love this show because, I mean, it might be a little bit biased because you are watching mainly from the perspective of Stephen's family. You're hearing their interviews, they're talking to the camera, but it's a really interesting case because it's one where I'm like, I have no idea who I believe. There'll be episodes where I'm like, yeah, he's innocent, and then there'll be the next episode I'll be like, no, he's guilty, like, for sure. So this is a really interesting case where I really have no idea who to believe. I don't know if I believe Stephen's story. I don't know if I believe some of his family. There's a lot of family kind of involved in this story as well, which makes it a really interesting case. There's moments as well where you look into the police's investigation and some potential issues that have arisen and some errors that might have occurred during the investigation. So this is a really interesting true crime case. I find the documentary really well done, super interesting, personalizes it a little bit with the family member interviews, which not a lot of documentaries would do, especially with the one accused. I mean, most times they like interview the victim's family but don't actually talk to the accused family, so that's really interesting as well. There's a lot of dodgy stuff with this case, a lot of stuff that's very questionable, so it makes for a really interesting watch. If you love true crime, definitely watch this documentary. So next recommendation is Mindhunter, another Netflix show, and this is a fantastically made show. So this is based off the non-fiction book of the same name. Sorry, I've got the names written down here, by John E. Douglas and Mark Olshaker. I haven't read the book, but I kind of want to after watching this show. This is a show I watched a while ago, but it is absolutely fantastic. So this is loosely based off the book. about FBI agents, and they're trying to understand the minds and learn about serial killers and use that to catch them. And it's about the pioneering, the development of the modern day serial killer profiling. So this is fantastic, and the actors that play the serial killers are like too good. So we get to see them interview very, very well known and super famous now serial killers. So if you love true crime, this is definitely a show for you. It's fantastic. It's so well made. It's so interesting. The interviews with the serial killers are horrifying, and honestly the actors that play the serial killers look a little bit too much like them. The casting is like on point as well. So true crime lovers, watch this show as well. My final recommendation for Crime Corner is a show called Criminal, and this is one of my favorite shows ever. I'm obsessed. I rewatch it all the time. It's so good. So this is technically a limited series. So how do I explain this? So we get 3 episodes each country. So there's we have a season set in the UK, we have a season set in Spain, we have a season set in France, and a season set in Germany, and they're all in their original languages. It's meant to be technically a limited series, but the UK version did get 2 seasons. Yeah, so this is basically a limited series, and you get, I think it's 3 episodes per country, and they're all set in the same set design, which is cool as well. Makes it really interesting. And basically each episode is a different police interrogation in an interrogation room. So each episode is a brand new story. You get a little bit behind the scenes of the actual police and the investigators, but not much because it's only 3 episodes and it's a limited series, so there's not heaps of time to develop that. But that's not the point. The point is the interviews, and the acting in this is like incredible. It's always so intense because you've got the clock counting down, so you're watching the investigators try and get an answer quick before their time with the accused person runs out. So there's that tension and intensity of the interview, and like I said, the acting is beyond amazing. In the UK version, there's a lot of stars that play suspects. We have David Tennant. Oh, he was incredible. We have Kit Harington, which was good. Not one of my favorites, but still good. And then we have from The Big Bang Theory, Kunal Nair, and him and David Tennant were definitely the standout episodes for me. Like, absolutely fantastic. This show is incredible. The stories are really cool, and I was about to say incredible again. The stories are really interesting, and the interrogations are intense and full of crazy twists and turns, and you're feeling the pressure with the investigators, and it's a sensational show. I recommend this to everyone, but just a trigger warning, some of the stories are about assault and can be a little bit triggering, so please read the descriptions before you do watch the episodes. But wow, a fantastic show. Something a little bit lighter after Crime Corner, we have Annie with an E on Netflix. This is a adaptation of the novel Anne of Green Gables, which I still need to read. So wow, what can I say about this other than it is the most heartwarming thing I've ever watched. So this, I know that there have been a lot of adaptations of Anne of Green Gables. It is a very, very, very famous novel. The thing I like about this adaptation is it's got a few more modern topics and modern, like societal issues kind of talked about in there, which I guess gives it a bit of a fresh spin, because obviously it's been adapted so many times and readers of the books already know the story, of course. And for our younger viewers, it's a great way to teach about society and societal issues in a fun way. The costuming is beautiful, the setting is amazing, it's wholesome. If you love the story of Anne of Green Gables, you will love this adaptation. If you've never read the book, you'll love it anyway. It is about a girl who is full of pure joy and has got nothing to give other than love, and has a beautiful way with words and a wonderful imagination. This show is wholesome, and if you're ever feeling down or sad or need something wholesome to watch, this is definitely the show to watch. Another one of my favorite shows is the adult animation Bob's Burgers. I love this show. It's so good. So this is, if you didn't know, about a family that runs a burger shop. So we have their dad Bob, we have his wife Linda, and their 3 kids Tina, Louise and Jean. And basically, again, they're self-contained episodes where each episode the family gets dragged into some mess or drama. It's a beautiful show and teaches lovely lessons about the value of family, and the kids and the adults always get in their own kind of mess and drama and fun. This is just a super fun show. It never fails to lift my mood and make me laugh. Don't let the animation trick you. It is definitely an adult show with adult conversations and adult jokes. So if you love animation and you're an adult, this is definitely a show that is for you. A recent find of mine is a show called Ghosts. This is the UK version I'm referring to. There is a US version, but I don't really enjoy that one as much as the UK version. So this is a show from the team behind the fantastic show Horrible Histories. So I would recommend this show to anyone who watched Horrible Histories when they were younger and absolutely adored it and adored the cast, and such a talented cast as well. So basically the creators have reunited basically the whole, I want to say almost the whole main cast from that show. And this show is about a couple that inherits a mansion only to discover that it is filled with ghosts, and the cast from Horrible Histories play all the wonderful ghosts, and these are all ghosts that have lived in the house from different periods of time. So it's got that lovely feeling of Horrible Histories, and it's got that kind of nostalgia feeling for me of seeing the whole cast together performing again, which makes me so happy. And it's a great show as well, which helps. It is a funny show and wholesome, and again the episodes are self-contained, so it's easy to watch. They're like 20-minute episodes, easy to fly through. There's about 3 seasons out, so you can go have a binge and watch it all. This is a fun show with a incredibly talented cast. The next show is an older show. I finished this years ago, but it's still a favorite of mine, and it's such a long show, but I'm so tempted to restart it because I love it so much, and that is Orange is the New Black. So this is a show set in a women's prison. It's loosely based, I should have looked it up. It's loosely based off an actual book about a woman's stay in prison, but it's loosely based around that. So we follow our main character Piper, she kind of hands herself in. Years ago she, with a girlfriend, was involved with drug smuggling, and she is charged with handling of money that was involved in a drug smuggle. So it's basically about her going to prison and adjusting to life in prison. Ironically, Piper is like the least important character, and like I think everyone's least favorite character that's watched this show. This is a massive cast of women, a cast of incredibly talented and really diverse cast as well, which makes it a fantastic show to watch. We have the overarching story of Piper trying to deal with all of the issues. She finds herself in a prison for the first time, but you also have a kind of cast of other main women that are involved. So in some episodes you see the behind the scenes of the women and how they ended up in the prison. So it's a bit of a discussion about the prison system itself, the rehabilitation of prison, and a really big discussion about societal issues. So there's that great undertone as well. There's also really important storylines and discussions that handle it so well about race and police brutality towards African Americans in the US. This is a fantastic show with incredible storylines, the most amazing diverse cast. The last season handles very well and talks about immigration issues, and the ICE and detention centers in the US as well, which is a really confronting but important season. I found that season really hard to watch because it was meant to be super confronting and thought-provoking. My favorite season as well would be the riot season in season 5. That is a standout season for me. absolutely fantastic performances. If you love a show with huge casts, huge diverse casts, a show that focuses mainly on the story of women, it's a fantastic show. There's silly bits, of course, there's super confronting, hard to watch bits, there's devastating moments. This is a brilliant show that has 7 seasons. It finished years ago, so you have plenty of to get through. If you're looking for a massive show to commit to, this is definitely one you should check out. A more recent favourite is a show called Vigil. So this show is a police kind of investigation show. A crew member on a submarine called the HMS Vigil is found dead. And the submarine is actually a nuclear deterrent, so it cannot come back to land. It must stay out to sea. So we follow our investigator, Detective Amy Silver, and she must go out to the submarine herself to investigate and find out what happened to this person and whether it was a murder. So this show is incredible. What's the actress's name? Sorry, I wrote her name down. Saran Jones does the most amazing performance in this show. So you follow her investigation on the submarine, and then you follow another detective whose name I cannot remember, so I wrote it down. There we go, Detective Kirsten Longacre. You follow her investigation on land as Detective Silver is investigating on the submarine. This show is fantastic because Detective Silver is trapped on that submarine, so you feel that intensity and that claustrophobic feel of the pressure to find out what happened to this person trapped on the submarine with whoever killed this person, which is like, oh, it makes it like even more tense than an investigation show like this normally is. So you also have an interesting angle with the investigation on land and the kind of political implications that this death is causing, because it is on a nuclear deterrent submarine. There is a lot of political and different countries kind of get involved, which is really interesting as well, which just added to the show and broke up the repetitiveness of the submarine as well. The actress, like I said before, Saran Jones, gives an incredible performance in this. I really like her character because she's written as a super intelligent detective who is really good at her job, but at the same time you get to see her battle with her mental health. Being stuck on this submarine, she is a character who suffers from depression and anxiety. And see, that's what I like about it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. She's a strong, capable person, but you also get to see that personal side of her dealing with her mental health. And slowly there's a bit of a story about her backstory and her life before this investigation, which you slowly uncover as well as the investigation goes on. This is so full of twists and turns and different suspects, and again, it's that tense, claustrophobic feel of the submarine. If you like police investigation stories, this one is fantastic and absolutely loved it. I binged through it so quickly because I just kept ending the episodes on cliffhangers, and I just had to know what happened next. Another favourite of mine is a show called Derry Girls. This is a show set in the 1990s in Derry, Ireland, with the backdrop of all the political issues that were happening in Derry at the time. You follow our main character and her group of friends as they deal with their day-to-day life and drama of being high school students. This show is absolutely hilarious. I cannot tell you how many times I've rewatched the episodes. So many iconic episodes, so many iconic scenes. The girls also go to a Catholic girls school, so there is a main nun and she is a standout in this show. She is absolutely hilarious. This show is super fun, super wholesome. There's currently 2 seasons out with a 3rd season coming. I don't know when. It's coming some point this year. That will be the final episode. But if you're looking for a good belly laugh, this is definitely the show for you. This is one that's only recently aired, and that is Abbott Elementary. This is a hilarious show. So this is kind of a mockumentary, so shot in that style like The Office, where they are aware the cameras are there and talking to the cameras. This is about a public school in Philadelphia in the US, Philly, and it is about a bunch of teachers there just trying to do their best. They're a bunch of super passionate teachers that love what they do, and they're just trying to do the best they can with the limited budget at this public school that they have. And it doesn't help that the principal is useless and doesn't really want to do their job. This show is so funny, but at the same time heartwarming and a beautiful kind of tribute to teachers and all of the work and love and time that goes into being a teacher. Plus it's bloody hilarious, like so funny. Then we have a show called Young Royals. This is a show that I watched last year. It's been officially confirmed that a second season is coming, which I'm so happy about. This is a Swedish show, so it is in Swedish. This is about a young prince called Prince Wilhelm, and he is sent to go spend the rest of his schooling in this boarding school because he is known for being a party boy and getting into trouble in front of the media. So he is sent there to kind of get out of the media's eye, and it's basically about him adapting to being at a boarding school and a romance that blossoms. So that's all I really want to say about this show without spoiling it. It's a fantastic show. I bawled my eyes out at the season 1 finale. So sad, but so good. It's a really good show with really good acting, and if you're looking for a cute romance, then I would recommend this one. The next show is a show that I adore, and that is Over the Garden Wall. This is a mini series. It is a kid show, but can be appreciated by all ages. This was a mini series created for Cartoon Network. It's animated, and it is about two brothers. Two brothers called Wirt and Greg, and they get lost in the woods called the Unknown, and the show is about them trying to find their way home and the strange people of the unknown that they encounter along their journey and the people that are trying to help them go home. It's got the most beautiful and haunting soundtrack, like sensational music. You would recognize the voice of Wirt, Elijah Wood, who I love, and I always watch this show like a tradition around like Halloween. I know a lot of people watch it, is that like fall in the US, like autumn? So, you know, I watch it at different times to everyone else because of, obviously, I'm in Australia. But I always watch this show. It's a tradition to watch it around Halloween because it's kind of got that Halloween vibe to it. And if you watch the show, you'll understand why I watch it around Halloween. But this is a fantastic show, a great story, a fantastic soundtrack, incredible animation, and lots of atmosphere and vibe. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, final show. Wow. Show number 15. So this is again another recent obsession. It is a recent show that's just come out. I don't know if there's going to be another season. I don't know. I hope so. This next show is called All of Us Are Dead. Oh, wow, it's so good. I binged it. I'm obsessed. This is a Korean show, so it's in Korean. This show is about a group of high school students, and they are trapped in this high school because we see the start of a zombie outbreak, and it's about them trying to survive, that typical zombie kind of plotline of them trying to survive this outbreak. The acting in this show is like so good. Like I was expecting it to be like a silly like zombie thing, but oh my god, the acting is really good. And like the chemistry between the actors and the actresses, wow, it's so good. This is a really fun show. I would warn you that if you're not one, I mean, it's not a super gory. There are some gory moments. Obviously, it's a zombie film, but it's not super violent. I love this show. I'm sorry. Obviously, that's why I'm talking about it. I lost my train of thought. I would recommend this show if you are a fan of the Korean movie Train to Busan. It's got that same kind of vibe to it, and they even make a nod to it in the show themselves. So we love the self-awareness. The one thing I do want to say about this show and why I think it's fantastic and kind of stands out compared to other zombie shows, because I know there's been lots of different zombie stuff made, is the way, I don't know how you describe it, I guess like the choreography of the way the zombies move. They don't move like just walking straight, like for example in The Walking Dead. The way that they twist and move and the choreography of that just adds to like the intensity and makes them even scarier than a normal zombie. The way they move and the story behind how it came to be. You get to learn a little bit about how the outbreak started. Yeah, so you get to see a little bit of backstory about how the zombie outbreak started and why it started at the high school. You also get to jump and see some of the parents and some of the adults and what's happening on the outside world as this zombie apocalypse starts and obviously spreads, and kind of a little bit of a political with the outbreak and how the leaders of the country react and what they do to keep this outbreak contained, and how people in other towns and countries kind of react to the outbreak. Honestly, like, wouldn't be surprised if that happened in real life because humans are selfish. This show is fantastic and intense. The acting is amazing. If you love zombie stuff, like, you're gonna love this. I think it's one of the better done zombie things. It's really fun. The storylines between characters are amazing, and it's so good. I love this. I love the main cast and how they work together. And yeah, it's great. Oh my god, okay. Those are 15 shows that I love. I need to wrap this up because my back is killing me sitting like this. So I would say, let me know in the comments if you want me to make another one of these videos, but I don't care. I'm going to keep making them because I love talking about TV shows that I watch. Never start a conversation with me about TV shows. I won't shut up about it. I love TV. It's another passion of mine right alongside reading, and I have a lot of shows that I'm currently watching that I really want to talk about on this channel as well. So as soon as I finish those, I will be making another one of these videos, and I think I will turn it into a long-term series because yeah, I love TV shows. I love watching TV. It's fun. I love discovering new shows, and yeah, it's just like another version of imagination, so I love it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found some shows maybe you never heard of before, or found some shows that you've heard about but were unsure about whether you should check them out or not. Let me know if you've watched any of these shows. I know you probably have. A lot of these are super popular. I'd love to know what you guys watch. What kind of genre do you watch? What do you watch? Let me know. All of my social media links are in the description below, and I'll catch you in whatever I post next. Bye!